Hey you guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. All right, so coming today with activity two, and this is positive reinforcement. This activity is all about creating an environment that positively reinforces the self belief and the new beliefs that we want to hold within ourselves. So it's very important in this activity to understand that in goal achievement, no matter how big or small of the goal we are trying to achieve, what we want to focus on is we want to focus on creating momentum. So, what is momentum? Momentum is just movement towards the goal. So, in the last activity, we talked about like how do we build, new beliefs? How do we create a new belief? And this activity is all about going on top of that. And it's now that we got these new beliefs, how do we positively reinforce them into our life? How do we shift our perspective and our focus in our environment to reinforce positively these new beliefs about ourselves? So, what this activity is all about doing is this is the next layer. So, we've got that belief that we are repeating to ourselves. We got that thought pattern, that narrative, that language pattern, that story that we are creating, that new empowering narrative. And this is all about, well, how do we shift our focus from focusing on what makes me feel negative about myself or about this, goal achievement or whatever it may be? And how do I focus on the positive side of it? So, what I mean by this is if our goal achievement is to become better at sales, okay, and we're trying to create these new beliefs of empowerment around how how can I achieve this goal of becoming the best salesperson that I personally can become. So what we want to understand is, well, we want to understand, well, if I'm only ever focusing on the results, I'm not actually going to feel good about myself unless I am achieving the results that I want in this goal achievement. So, by focusing in on the results, I'm actually creating a very, very disempowered environment to where the only way I can feel empowered is through achievement of the goal. So until I achieve the goal, my entire existence is disempowered, or my entire environment is disempowered. So what we want to do is we want to change our perspective to what we look at. So rather than measuring the momentum based on the results that I get, I measure the momentum based on the activities and effort that I am putting in and day out to become the best version of myself. So, in this activity, what we want to do, okay, so for this activity, we just want to learn how to shift our focus to creating an environment that positively reinforces your self belief while pursuing the goal. So, like I said, instead of us focusing in on just the results or on external validation from my peers or those around me, what I want to do is I want to shift that focus to the key variables or factors that get the results that I want. So if I'm trying to become a better salesperson, or the best salesperson that I can be, well, we understand that it's a volume game. So it's all about how do I make more calls? How do I engage more people? The more people I engage, the higher the likelihood that I get sales. And then we understand, well, the more proficient I am at communicating, okay, to each of those engagements, the higher the likelihood I get sales. So we've got all these factors. And if we think about it like this in weight loss, rather than seeing the result of the loss of weight, we want to look at the activities that lead to weight loss. So our diet, the exercise, the time and effort we put into exercise. You know, what are we fueling our body with? Are we sleeping well? Because these are all things we can control. I can control how much sleep I get. I can control my stress levels. I can control my diet, and I can control the effort I put into training. I can't control if I lose weight or when I lose weight or how I lose weight. So what we want to do is we want to focus in on all of these activities, and these are what we create our environment by. We create a positive environment by the actions and the, you know, things that we can control that are within ourselves. So if I'm trying to become better at sales, I'm controlling how many people am I talking to? Can I talk to more people? How proficient am I at talking to those people? Am I maximizing and communicating effectively? Am I engaging with those people? I can look at, the rejection when people say no. How am I handling that? Why are they saying no? Am I am I saying something wrong, or am I misrepresenting something? Like, all these different variables and factors we can control and analyze to get a clear indication and picture of how the results should be, and we can project out our future results. So it's very, very important for us to be able to do this, because if we are in a negative environment that makes us feel less than, building new beliefs and creating self-belief within ourselves will become one of the most difficult tasks to undertake, because we will never be able to truly feel it until we have achieved that result. Whereas if we are able to focus in on the activity and actions that we take, we are able to feel the success and achievement when we take the actions required. That's an important thing. By shifting our perspective and our focus, we are able to artificially direct it towards empowerment over disempowerment. So I'm able to focus in on the empowered actions I take each day, opposed to the arbitrary results that I receive from those actions. Because results aren't always directly correlated to actions taken. Sometimes we must take thousands of actions before we see the first results. So if we're always focused on the results, how I reinforce my self-belief, then I must be able to take thousands of actions without any belief in myself before I can feel self-belief. Do you see? This is the importance of understanding our directed focus. By understanding how to create an environment that positively reinforces each step that we take. Sort of like when we run a race, we do not get to feel like we have achieved that race until we cross the finish line. And if victory is what we seek, anything but first is a failure. Whereas if my focus is around being someone who is able to run in each step of the race, I am able to focus in on how am I running? How do I feel? Am I pushing myself to my limits? Am I giving everything that I have? Or am I not putting in the effort? So we must be honest with ourselves, but not disempower ourselves. So whatever we need to do to achieve what we want to achieve, whatever actions are required, are where we should focus our attention, not to the results that we seek to get, but to the actions that we know will reach that result. All right. Well, for this activity, all we got to do is for those 90 days, while we're creating these new beliefs, while we're creating self belief within ourselves, we want to be consciously aware of what are we focusing on? How does what we focus on make us feel? Do I feel good about myself when I'm taking the actions that lead to the results that I seek? Do I feel negative about myself when I see the results that I've currently achieved? By understanding how things make us feel, we can understand how they affect and influence us. All right. Well, I'll see you on the next activity, and you guys have an amazing day for today. Thanks so much. Bye.